Jesus, this award is my God now!
Guys, this is just truly a sad story. A story of difficult pain and the realization that we should not take God lightly. We should have awe and respect of who God is. And this is something that is very, very important to think about as we watch, because this video has resurfaced of Kathy Griffin mocking God while receiving her award, saying that this is her new God, the award. And ever since then, her life just fell apart. And I'm not saying that God did this all. I'm not saying that he's the one who caused all this stuff to happen. But when you mock God, when you completely turn your back on him and do your own thing, maybe these circumstances will come back to haunt you, bite you. So let's get into it. And I'm going to have a Bible verse at the end.
Suck it, Jesus, this award is my God now! No one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit.
What you just heard was pure blasphemy, arrogance at its peak. But God is not mocked. Today, we'll expose 10 public figures who dared defy the Almighty and paid a terrifying price. Watch closely. Judgment always comes. Let's begin. Kathy Griffin, once celebrated comedian who dared to raise her voice against the divine. Known for her sharp tongue and bold humor, Griffin reached the peak of fame with her biting comedy. But in 2007, she crossed a line few dare to tread. During her Emmy acceptance speech, she shocked the world with the blasphemous words, "Suck it, Jesus."
Why? What does she have against God that is so bad where she needs to mock him on stage? Like, she thinks it's funny. You think it's funny. I get it. But some things are not just worth trying to say a funny joke if you're going to be trying to mock the creator of the universe. In Job, God is like, who made man's mouth? Who created the Leviathan? The creature that is known to be the most vast and strong and this beast that no one can contain. Who made that? God made it. I made that. That's what he's saying. So who are you to doubt and blame me? I'm not saying even God is the one who caused all these bad things to happen to her, but I will say when you don't follow God and you do your own thing, sometimes that's just the outcome of how you are living.
Lord is my God now. With that, she mocked the very core of Christian faith, publicly declaring an idol in place of the Creator. The backlash was swift. But Griffin stood defiant. Christian groups condemned her, and networks censored her speech, but she wore the criticism as a badge of pride. Little did she know that her arrogant words would spark a series of devastating events. It was as if the heavens had taken notice, for what followed was nothing short of a descent into darkness. Griffin, once adored by many, began to face a collapse. So thorough, it could only be seen as divine judgment. In 2017, Griffin posed with a bloody, decapitated replica of then-President Donald Trump's head, igniting.
Like, what in the world? Is this some, demonic thing where you think you have to completely just do deplorable things to get famous, to become the talk of the story? Who in your right mind thinks that's okay?
National outrage. The stunt led to federal investigation, public vilification, and a blacklist from virtually every media outlet. She was labeled a threat, banned from flying, and abandoned by close friends like Anderson Cooper. Griffin's career spiraled, and the laughter she once provoked turned into scorn. It seemed the world no longer saw a comedian, but a fallen idol. But the judgment did not stop at public shame. Griffin's personal life was shattered. She lost her sister to cancer and later her beloved mother. Soon after, she was diagnosed with lung cancer herself, despite never having smoked.
Dang, how do you get lung cancer without smoking? I'm sure there's lots of ways, but that's the main way.
Illness cost her part of her lung and left her physically and emotionally scarred. Coupled with severe addiction to prescription drugs and PTSD, Griffin teetered on the edge, even attempting during a period of unbearable despair.
That is sad. Every time something bad happens, it's not because of God. It's because we live in a fallen world and there's sin in this world. People do bad things all the time. People do evil things. People are separated from God, separated from the presence of God, and they make decisions that have consequences. Being addicted to prescription drugs is a consequence that you're probably going to have to deal with later on in life. Whether you're going to get healed from that addiction, there's still a consequence of withdrawals and pain and suffering and agony of not taking that prescription anymore. Like, that's a problem. It's difficult, and you might have side effects for the rest of your life. This is why it's so important to be walking with God continuously, even when it's difficult, even when it's hard, even when it doesn't seem right to make that decision to follow God.
The woman who once mocked Jesus now found herself broken, lost, and gasping for stability. Her voice, once used to taunt the divine, was silenced by surgery, trauma, and social exile. And as she stood in the ruins of fame and health, it became clear this was no mere coincidence. The path she chose, a path of arrogance, mockery, and spiritual defiance, led her to a place of unimaginable pain.
Do you think that she is deserving of this? Is this from God, or is it just circumstances because of her life decisions? I would love to know what you guys think for sure. This is what she looks like now. She's like, Kathy Griffin was photographed showing off her wild natural hair and brand merch as she stepped out a walk on Tuesday. Proverbs 1:7 says, fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. So we need to have the fear of the Lord, be in awe and respect. It's not like, oh, we're going to be so afraid, we're not going to even go to God, blah, blah, blah. But it's about truly surrendering to God and his will and not wanting to think, maybe it's not that big of a deal to live in sin. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Oh, it is. That's why it's very important to have the fear of the Lord. So go to Jesus today. Know that he loves you. He's longing to have a relationship with you. Put him first. It will be the best decision you could ever make. In the description below, you can click a link to help you to decide to follow Jesus for the first time. I encourage you to do that today.